Hello again. What I've done is I've just pretty much completed refinishing the stock. I didn't take the old finish off. Some wax there. I didn't take the old finish off. I sanded it back and then I did the Tru Oiled treatment on it. I didn't sand it back too much, and I didn't use my normal method of Tru Oiling. All the other Tru Oiling that I've done was with aerosol can of Tru Oil. Sorry about the bird noise, it's morning, so the birds are out chattering away. I usually used an aerosol can of Tru Oil. Now there's only one problem with that. It's been discontinued, so you can't get it. I've only got one little bit in the can left, and I didn't want to use it on this. The other problem with using the aerosol or spraying it on is that unless you've got a really fine nozzle, you do apply too much. That's the tendency that I had, and you would get runs, and you would have to take the runs out. Yeah, so that was always my problem. Whereas with the traditional method of Tru Oiling, which is just essentially doing French polishing, shellacking, it's a lot easier to keep the runs out. I still did get a small one here and there, but yeah, they weren't too bad. So essentially, like I didn't want to do a how-to video because there's literally hundreds, there really are, of how to use Tru Oil, tongue oil, boiled linseed oil, all of that stuff. What I did literally was sand, not too rough. I don't use really rough sandpaper. I think I used, what did I use, 600 or even higher than that, and just lightly took the finish back, because it was, what I was doing originally was I had applied this stuff. It's a beeswax based polish. It's a wax, it's still a wax, and I did actually, the last bit I did on this, I did put a coat of this on and then take it off. So I was putting, I'd put everything on. What's that? Hang on. There's this other stuff that I put on there, which works it really works well to bring out the grain in wood, and that's it. This stuff, Voere. So at various times I'd applied Voere, I'd applied wax, I'd applied ballistol all over it, and I'd applied, yeah, lots of things, and it just kept soaking it up. You know, the wood just kept absorbing it, and it was still quite porous, and which I don't like. I don't like having porous wood on a gun. So I wanted to seal it, so I thought I'll do the traditional Tru Oil method treatment, which is sanding the original finish back, which wasn't much of anyway. It just kept soaking in. Sand it back, just rub the Tru Oil on, light coat. Imperfection there. Then wait for it to set or dry, depending on where you are, the climatic conditions and weather, temperature, humidity and everything. It's been quite really hot. It's like, I don't know if you can see I'm sweating. It's really hot here, so it didn't take long to cure at all, like 5 hours, 6 hours, bang, it was cured. So it didn't take me that long. Usually it's a pretty long, tedious, drawn out process to do it properly. So I don't know how many coats I applied, probably half a dozen coats, really light coats. And then in the end I wasn't using sandpaper to knock it back. I used medium wool, steel wool to begin with, then I used fine, and in the end, the last 2 coats I used super fine. So you can get it from your hardware store, it's pretty easy. And yeah, I used super fine wool just to rub it back. And it's not perfect, I'm not the best French polisher, furniture polisher, but that's what it is. But I think it's a lot better than it was before. It was really porous before, and I really wanted to seal it, so I've sealed it sort of inside and out mostly. Yeah, so got some wax in there. So I don't know if you got a really good vision of it, but now, like the grain stands out even more, and it's it's got really nice luster to it, and it's quite shiny now. People will say, oh, you know, how can you take a rifle like that into the bush and they're going to see you, and look, you know, I really don't care what anyone says. I wanted to really jazz it up, but it's such a glorious looking stock. So with the wax, what you do is once you've applied the wax, to remove the excess, this is what you use. It's a nylon stocking wrapped around a sock. A trick that I learnt when I was in the army to remove excess wax from your boots when you're polishing them, and it brings it up really beautiful, like really shiny. Yeah, works a treat. Yeah, it's you know, this I don't even want I don't even want to touch it because it's so beautiful. It's just gorgeous. You know, this recoil pad, there's a bit of a mess on it because I taped it off so I wouldn't get Tru Oil all over it, but it was really old tape and it's really hot and humid here, and sort of, yeah, it's left a heap of glue on there. I'll have to take that off. Not really worried about it. And this recoil pad is pretty hard, so I don't know, might change it, I don't know. Yeah, so it's not perfect. There are imperfections. The problem is that when you apply the coats, because it becomes really tacky, and like anything in the air, insects, particles, any fibres will get on it and stick to it, and then you like, I've got one right at the top there, but yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, so unless you're working in a totally controlled environment, you know, it will happen, and it did. So yeah, that's that. But it is really a glorious stock, so I just wanted to show it to you before I put it back on the rifle. I might let it set for a little bit longer, because I reckon to properly set it takes about a week, but this stuff was going off in no time because it's so hot here. Yeah, just taking the excess wax off. Still got some excess wax on there. Beautiful. It really is such a beautiful stock. Anyway, I just wanted to show it to you because I'm really proud of it. Yeah, so I'll put it back in the rifle and I'll go and test. I've made up some 130 grain GMXs. They're a monolithic all copper projectile, so I'll be interested to see how they perform. I'm still waiting for the 120 grain SSTs coming from the United States from Brownells, so I'll have to wait for them to come. But in any case, I just wanted to show the stock off again, so hope you like it. See you later.